This broadcast is part of the IC Robots radio network. Visit icrobots.com for this and many other nerd/nostalgia-related podcasts. You won't be sorry for long.
Countdown for blast off. X-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X-minus 1, fire.
I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can.
Welcome to the Toys R Us Report, recorded live on Jupiter's third largest moon, Callisto. He ordered enchiladas and he ate them. I had the fruit punch with your host, IC Robots.
Greetings, Earth people. I am from Jupiter. It is me again, IC Robots. I am not a hero, but I do sacrifice each and every week to make your week a bit less weak. And this week, it is going to get so much less weak. We're going to start off with, well, we're going to find out who won the charity box contest. So we're going to move into, we're going to have a movie review. That's going to be fun. And then it's going to be the top 5 movies I saw in the entirety of the year 2017. It was a, I'm just going to say so-so movie year to be polite, but I don't know, man. I did see some good ones, and I'm going to tell you which ones I thought were the best. So with all that said, let me look around in here for something to play. All right, hit it.
Check. 1, 2. I call all the shots, rip all the shops, fools always gawk when I cop all the stock. I know you're thinking now, when all the hunting stops, that this sucker never home. Got to call me on the yacht. I don't know what they want from me. It's like the more money we come across, the more problems we see. You tell me who flopped, who copped the dope swap. A mint mega Spock for a tube sock. ISR, you know, ain't nothing changed but my limp. Can't stop now till I see my name on a blimp. I don't know what they want from me. It's like the more money we come across, the more problems we see. This is the Toys R Us Report with IC Robots. You better recognise.
Yeah, a little recognition would be nice. I think that we all want to be recognized, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to do some recognition, man. We had a charity toy drive for last Christmas. It was a Toys for Tots thing in which you would buy a gift for the Toys for Tots, and then you'd send me a pic, and bam, man, you are entered in a drawing to win this giant box of stuff that I've been saving up over the course of the year. It's a cool box. There's all kinds of fun toys, all kinds of fun things. And I want to say that this turned out a lot better than I thought it would. We got so many entries. I was very pleased. I got a bunch that wanted to go and, get their pictures posted up with the stuff, which was dope because I think that encourages people. And there was like a lot more who came to me on the down low and they didn't want to be recognized. And then there were even some on the down low who said they sent off some stuff and that they were happy, but they didn't even want a chance at the gift box because they wanted to go to somebody else who might enjoy it more. That's cool, but I got to get this box out of here. It's been sitting in my office for a year straight, and man, sometimes it gets under my feet. I've tripped on it twice. I don't know. It's a USPS priority box, and while that is not as big as, say, a refrigerator box, it is big enough to get in the way and get in the way it has. So let's see. I got all of the names, and I got them in a cup full of, well, it's an empty cup. It's a cup full of little paper slips. I put them on a paper slip, and they're all in the cup. Let me dig around here. And the winner of the 2017 Christmas Charity Junk Box is Phil Carey. Phil Carey, you are the winner. If you reach out to me via Twitter or you reach out to me on Facebook, just send me your address and I'll get this I'll get this into the mail out your way ASAP. I want to thank Phil Carey. I want to thank every single person who participated. You guys all know who you are. You guys all know who bought gifts, and you should feel good about yourself. It's cool to think that on Christmas Day when you wake up, that there are going to be people out there who are opening the gifts that you bought for them. It's fun. I always imagine that they are having like a super great time with it. I imagine they open it up and they're like, woo woo, and they're just jazzed. That's good, man. It makes you feel good about yourself to do good things. That's not the primary reason you should do it. You should do it because, you know, you're helping somebody else out who might need some help. But the fun you have definitely makes it all worthwhile. That was great fun. Christmas was terrific this year, and I realize it's been a few weeks since Christmas, but this is the first time we're talking this year, man. This is the first time we're getting together and chitty-chatting, and I just want to catch you all up. I got one of my favorite Christmas presents. Well, I got my favorite Christmas present of all the times, as we learned the other episode. I got Castle Grayskull from my lovely wife. I was so happy. She got me Castle Grayskull, and she got me Man-at-Arms. Man-at-Arms is my personal favorite figure. He was somebody Gino Vega was into too. I think that a lot of people liked. They liked the second banana. Not a lot of people felt as if they could be He-Man, but maybe you could be He-Man's pal, you know. Maybe you could be Man-at-Arms. I was into that. But anyway, I got Man-at-Arms. I got Castle Grayskull, and then she got me a bunch of like beater figure bodies. She got me like Triclops and all this stuff. I think she got a big lot. There's a He-Man in there. There's a Battle Cat. He-Man had his sword and the figure and his chest armor, but he doesn't have his shield or his axe. I ordered the shield. I picked it up for like $8 on eBay. I was pretty pleased with that. There's like a vehicle in there called the Road Ripper. These guys don't have any of their accessories. There's Stinkor, there is Triclops, there is that one that was a robot. Let me grab it. Hold on, I got it right here. I hope you guys can still hear me as I reach across the room. There's another He-Man. There is Manny Faces is in here. I do like Manny Faces. There's that guy. There's that guy with the lobster claw. You know what? For whatever reason, I find this guy with the lobster claw like all the time at the flea market. Just like him loose. Maybe it's the same one just going around. I don't know, but I do find lobster claw dude all the time. The Castle Grayskull is not complete. It has the throne, the weapon rack, and like 5 of the weapons. It has the elevator, but not the piece that goes up and down with the elevator. It has the trap door. I thought that trap door was so dope. I like to bamboozle guys and get them down on that dungeon sticker that was down there. Remember, like right below the trap door was a sticker with all kinds of like dungeon creatures and stuff. I don't know. I like to trick guys, and they would fall onto that. I'm so happy with this. I have it up on my shelf on Earth Base 1. It's so neat. I had a small display in the area. I've been moving things out of the Earth Base recently. I've been trying to like revamp it, and I had this display of Green Arrow figures. I had like a Superpower and a DC Universe. I had all these different ones, a mini mate, one that I got at Burger King, and I had them all up there with a DC Moon glass, you know, the Pepsi glass with the characters. These came out like in the 70s or the early 80s. They have like a moon, and then the DC character in front. I had the Green Arrow glass of that, and I had a bunch of stuff like that up there, but I got rid of all of that, and I put Castle Grayskull in its place, and right next to Castle Grayskull is the He-Man with the Battle Cat, and then Man-at-Arms is standing there next to He-Man like, what's up, I got your back, homie. And I got the homie that is a bumblebee. He's in the tower and looking out from the window. You know how it closes up? There's a window above the mouth. Peeking out of the window is the robot guy. It's so fun. It's so nice to look over there and see that after all these years. And it was nice that she didn't even listen to the episode, which is cool. So she didn't even know that was what I voted the number one present I ever received. She's heard me go on and on and on about it, and she decided to just shove me up and get it. So there you go, man. That's how you do some gift giving. Listen to what people jibber jab about, and then just get them that. So I have all these bodies, right? And I I've been looking on eBay and stuff, and it turns out that you can almost get a completely new one with the weapons for the same price that you can get the weapons for. So I'm debating like maybe selling all the beater bodies in a big lot and maybe getting enough to buy like one complete one. I would like to get Skeletor. I have Panther, his ride, and let me say that's a beautiful toy. It's a panther and it's purple, and the exterior is flocked. It's so nice. I'd like to get a Skeletor to ride it. Skeletor costs about $35 to $40. I've seen him for as low as like $30 on eBay. This is with all the weapons, the sword, the staff, with the ability to still stand. These guys get brittle and their hip joints really go. Most of these beaters can't even stand up on their own. The lot that she bought also came with a couple Thundercats. I'm not a Thundercat collector myself, so when she gave me those, she's like, here, go ahead and sell these. One of them is Mumra, the mail-away Mumra, where he is a mummy. I might be able to get like $10, $15 for that. The other one is like some sort of a walrus dude. I might be able to get like $10 for that. So hopefully I'll be able to flip this and wind up with a Skeletor. That's my hope. My original intention was to go out and like get the weapons for them. And then I started looking at the weapons, and the weapons are like $10. Like, who was I looking at? I think that it was Triclops, who comes with some kind of a laser. And I was looking at the laser, and the laser itself was $15. But then you can buy a complete Triclops for like $15.99. So I don't know. I think I'm just gonna see what I can do. And I've already spoken with the wife, and she's just like, oh my gosh, if you can wind up with one good figure out of all those bodies, don't worry about it. Get rid of them, because all I bought the whole lot for was Castle Grayskull. The rest of it was just whatever. It was just filler. I don't know. I'm glad you were able to pull He-Man out of there. I was able to pull Battle Cat. I got a complete Battle Cat. His belt around his body is broken. Those belt parts get really brittle. It had fallen off, but it can just rest on there, and He-Man looks good on it. So overall, man, this was a great present. It shows how well she knows me. She got me the number one thing I wanted all the time. And then also, she was like, take these other parts, and flip them. Like, you like to flip dumb stuff sometimes. So maybe you can do that. So she got me something to do, because, it's a process. You got to take pictures. You got to post them. It's all fun. It's all fun, though. It's always fun to take pictures of toys. So overall, Christmas was a really good time as far as what I got. I got this. I was very pleased. I got, what else did I get? She got me some candy. Candy's always fun in the stocking. I'm trying to think. I got something else, but it's eluding me right now. Seriously, I cannot remember what it is. Let me think. Thinking. Is it coming to me? It's not coming to me. Isn't that weird when you get these little gaps in your brain? Like, this was just the other day. I should totally know. Let me look around a bit and see if I see anything that looks there's nothing up here on the Jupiter moon base that is from Christmas. I wish I could see down into Earth Base 1. Oh well, my guys, if I remember it, I'll let you know. If any of you know because I've told you, just let me know, because I don't know, man. Maybe I'm getting senile. Maybe it's just too much time in space. The weird space, the space oxygen we breathe. I don't know, man. I know not. Let's go to At the Movies.
In a moment, at the movies, without Ebert, Siskel, or even that dude Roper. But you got Icy Robot, so that's something, right?
Richest man was kidnapped. What happened next shocked the world and threatened an empire. Michelle Williams.
I asked as a mother to set my boy free.
Christopher Plummer.
How much would you pay to release your grandson?
Nothing. And Mark Wahlberg.
We need to pay the ransom.
They will do things to Paul that can't be undone for any amount of money.
No! All the money in the world. Rated R.
So we went to see All the Money in the World on New Year's Eve. We're not big partiers. I'm not a big party animal. They had this big festival downtown, this big New Year's festival, and we were going to go to the movie and then dip through the festival and go home and just kind of kick it. I don't know, man. I'm not like the big holiday dude, and seeing a movie that's the perfect way for me to end the year. And I had been waiting for this movie for quite a long time. I started seeing the trailers for it over at Summerfield, the Arty Farty theater. And then when there was the whole hullabaloo where they replaced Kevin Spacey with Christopher Plummer in the movie due to like all these crazy accusations against Kevin Spacey. I'm sure you know what's going on. They actually succeeded in upping the profile of the movie due to the controversy because now it was playing at the big downtown theater. And I don't know, man. I did not take into consideration that other people might want to go to the movies on New Year's. I don't know, man. I thought that everybody would be at home getting crunk and that nobody would be out, but the theater was packed, and there were a group of unruly teenagers near us. I have no idea why they were in this movie at all. They were like 15, and they were so loud. And I gave them the shush, and I gave them the come on arms, like, come on, the movie started. Why won't you guys keep it down? And they would keep it down for a second, but then they would start up again, and I will give a shush. And I will give the arms, but I'm not really willing to take it past there. I have a lot of reasons for this. I don't want to be a killjoy. I go to the movies to have fun, and I don't want to get into like aggressive disputes with other people. That ruins my fun. I don't want to kill my joy. So I'm sitting there, and these kids are just like talking and talking and talking. And before we came to the movies, we had a slight discussion about what we should see. The wife wants to see Jumanji. A bunch of her friends at work said it was great. I don't really want to see Jumanji. I will see Jumanji. I'm fine with it, but it's not on the list above the new Ridley Scott movie, if you ask me. So I made a very good argument, and the main argument was that this movie might leave the theater any week. It's already been out for a week, and who knows how many people are going. It could leave any time. Jumanji's going to be there for months. It's going to be there for months. We got to see this one first. So we went to see it, but I was not having a good time due to these talky kids. So I leaned over to the wife and said, let's go see Jumanji, because I knew that Jumanji was starting like half an hour after All the Money in the World. So I knew it was going to be starting soon. And I said, let's just go skip and see Jumanji. And she made this super happy face. And she's like, let's go. And we jammed out of there, and we instead went to see Jumanji.
Welcome to Jumanji.
What is happening?
We have to finish the game.
What's up?
Jumanji, PG-13.
I'm gonna try to keep this brief. Jumanji is a remake of the other Jumanji movie that came out back in the day, but this one, instead of a board game, it is a video game. It's all right. It stars The Rock and Kevin Hart, and Jack Black is in it. It was all right. It was fine. It was decent. There's nothing wrong with it. It plays around with some video game tropes that are kind of cool. There were a lot of kids in the theater, and they all seemed to like it, and they're the target audience. My wife loved it. I thought it was fine. I laughed more than once. It was good. It wasn't that long. It was everything you would want out of a Jumanji remake starring The Rock. The stuff where they played around with video games was probably the best part. If you think you want to see it, go see it. It's definitely not a waste of time. It wasn't what I was in the mood for that night. I really wanted to see All the Money in the World, and this was nothing like that. But it was fine. I had a good time. I think I'm going to give Jumanji a, 3 mics.
3 mics.
But, the saga does not conclude. The next day, we got up, and early in the morning, we went to see All the Money in the World.
J. Paul Getty wasn't just the richest man in the world. He was the richest man in the history of the world.
Mr. Getty, your grandson's been kidnapped.
$17 million to release him.
I don't have any money.
On December 22nd.
How much would you pay to release your grandson?
Nothing. From director Ridley Scott.
I'm fighting an empire.
Inspired by true events.
He's my son, and I'll stop at nothing to bring him home.
All the money in the world. Rated R.
So there you have it. We are back exactly where we started. We were pretty much in the exact same seats, as a matter of fact. But it was all good, man, because I feel like the movie lived up to it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it despite all the trouble. It is the story of the 1973 kidnapping of Paolo Getty, the grandson of the richest man in the history of all space and time, J. Paul Getty. Dude got rich off oil. He invented the supertanker. He did all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I know him as a rich guy, and I know him because there's an art museum in Southern California named after him. Christopher Plummer's performance was really good. I understand that they had 16 days to come in and replace all of the Kevin Spacey parts, and dude nailed it. But let's be honest, it wasn't like a very complicated performance. He was just like a greedy old man. It seems like they may have based the Montgomery Burns character off J. Paul Getty, because he was just, in this movie, he was incredibly miserly. The conflict comes because Paolo gets kidnapped, and then J. Paul Getty does not want to pay the $17 million ransom, but he has some somewhat valid reasons. He says that if I pay for one of my grandchildren, that just puts all my other grandchildren at risk for kidnapping. And I get it. It really does do that. But, man, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do if somebody close to you gets kidnapped? It's like, there's no guarantee that paying the money will get them back. But if you don't pay the money, it's almost a guarantee that you won't get them back. I don't know. I pray to the Lord that I'm never in that position. One thing he does do is he sends sort of a fixer, sort of a problem solver of his, played by Mark Wahlberg, to get on the case. I really enjoyed this movie. It really moves along. I don't know how closely it sticks to the real life story. There's a lot of action and intrigue in this, and from what I read, it may not have been exactly like that, but it made for like a nice, tense thriller. I myself was aware that this had happened, but I didn't know how anything turned out, so I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of this, not knowing the end result. So if you don't know, don't go find out before you see the movie. It makes it a lot more fun to just have it play out before your eyes. But man, this was good. I enjoyed it. It was very good. Ridley Scott is an excellent director, it seems, if he stays away from aliens. I know that's his whole creation, but there's been some weird choices made in that direction. A while ago, there was talk of Ridley Scott came out and he said that he would want to do a Star Wars movie, but doesn't think he would ever get the chance. I could definitely see him doing something good with the Star Wars movie. Not like a Star Wars films, part of the Holy Trilogy. Maybe like a side movie. Like if I found out that Ridley Scott was going to direct a Boba Fett movie or something, that might be cool. If he was going to do like a Dangar movie or something, I would definitely go check that out. You would too. But let's finish this up. We've spent a lot of time. I feel like I spent a lot of time trying to see this movie, but I'm glad that I did. It turned out to be the first movie of 2018. So I started off the movie year right. I am going to give all the money in the world 3.5 mics.
3.5 mics.
You're listening to Toys R Us Report. Touch that dial and I'll kill you.
Dallas will not be seen tonight.
You're kidding. Well, I never cared about a thing like that.
But it will return next Friday.
Well, in that case, we better stop wasting time.
Last Interior Boy I See Robots saw roughly 75 movies at the cinema. These are his 5 favorite ones. The top 5 movies of 2017.
That is right. I went to the movies 75 times last year. I was trying for 100, and I failed on that goal, but it was those fires, man. They offset my plans. They really threw everything out of whack, and I wasn't able to get back in whack. But I saw a lot of good movies this year. I only saw a few that I thought were bad. Next episode of the show, we're gonna do like a rundown. I keep a list right here on the wall of the moon base with everything that I see when I saw it and how many mics I give it. And next week we're gonna go over that. But this week we're gonna go down the top 5 movies that I saw. These are my 5 personal favorite movies. These are the ones that resonated with me, stuck with me, moved me, affected me, or whatever, man. Maybe just like some that I enjoyed. So let's just get with it. You know, you get the idea. You get the idea of a top 5. Number 5 is...
Number 5.
Permission to jump in your next swing and blow something out?
Permission granted.
May the force be with you.
Hey, watch the language.
In 8 days. Come on! Rated PG-13. This film contains scenes that may be too intense for younger viewers.
Number 5 on the list is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We saw this during my holiday hiatus, so I didn't get to review it, but I really dug this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. There were parts that I would have cut out, but that's neither here nor there. Overall, the product was great. This movie was controversial when it came out. It seemed like the initial reviews by the peeps at large was not that great, but I myself only knew like a few people who didn't like it compared to like zillions who did like it. So I don't know what was up in that deal, but this is the further adventures of Rey and Finn and Poe, a new character Rose, BB-8 and stuff, and in a lot of ways, this movie was the putting away of the final remnants of the old Star Wars that we know and love, and the beginning of the new characters, the beginning of the takeover of the new characters, of your Rey, your Finn, your Poe, your BB-8, your whoever. I just ran that list down twice in a row. I did dig this movie quite a bit. If I had to give it mics, I would say right now it's a 4 micer, maybe a high 3.5. It was a bit long, but some of the stuff they give you is amazing. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it by now, I wonder how much you're interested in Star Wars movie. Now, there might be circumstances in which you weren't able to go up until now, and I do understand that, and some people just don't dig going to the theater, but if you don't want to get spoiled, it's been a while now, so I don't know, man. You must not be too worried about the spoilers, but still, I'm going to do my best not to give any. There is a lightsaber battle in the movie that might be the best lightsaber battle ever of all the times. There is a fight at the end of the movie that was just terrific. You find out the fates of some beloved characters. I thought this movie was great, and I myself am looking forward to the next set of trilogy movies that Rian Johnson, the director of this one, is gonna be coming out with. I think that he is a super talented guy. I've been down with Rian Johnson for a long time. I saw his first film, Brick, when it came out. It played here, and I was lucky enough to check it out, and I thought it was terrific. It was like this hard-boiled detective movie starring that kid from 30 Rock. His name eludes me now. The kid who was in Inception. He was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's homie's name. He's in this, and he plays this like high school detective style character. It's really great. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed, I don't know, man. Dude's a good director. I've been on his tip for a while, so I'm excited to see him. Excited to see him in the world of Star Wars as the head honcho. So number 5, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. What was number 4? Let's find out.
Number 4.
The thing we keep in that lab is an affront. Do you know what an affront is?
Something offensive?
That's right. We need to take it apart, learn how it works.
We can either save him or let him die.
Oh, woman, we gonna burn in hell.
The asset. Do you have it?
Honey, he's coming for you.
The Shape of Water. Rated R.
Number 4 on the list of movies is another one that I saw on the Christmas break. I apologize I didn't get to review this, but I will talk about it right now. This is the latest from visionary director Guillermo del Toro. I had such a hard time saying the name Guillermo. I don't know why. I apologize to Mr. Del Toro. I know that he's a listener of the program, so I do apologize, but I've always had a hard time saying the name Guillermo. There was this pitcher for the Tigers. His name was Willie Hernandez. I was a Tiger fan back in the day, Detroit Tigers, and he was one of their top flight relief pitchers, and his name was Willie Hernandez. And then he decided that he wanted to get more in touch with his Latin heritage, and he asked to be referred to as Guillermo. And ever since then, I've been struggling with that name. I don't know why it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as it should. But this is the latest from Guillermo del Toro. It's a romance. It is a monster movie romance. As I understand it, Mr. Del Toro, when he was younger, saw the movie The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the scene where the creature and the female lead are swimming about in the water, when he saw that, he took it as that they were in love and that they were going to be together, and that imagery always stuck with him, and it led him to make the Shape of Water. The story is that of a government base in which they have a captured sea monster. He's sort of a creature of the Black Lagoon type, and Michael Shannon, the great actor Michael Shannon, plays the CIA type who's in charge of getting all the secrets to the workings of this beast by any means necessary. And Sally Hawkins plays a mute worker at the place who she falls in love with the monster. There's no other way to put it. The movie takes place in the 60s. I believe it's the 60s, maybe the late 50s. I know not. It is the era of communism and the fear of communism, and they need to get this monster's secrets so they can use them against the dreaded Reds. And before they can do that, Sally Hawkins is going to sneak the monster out because they are in love. This is a beautiful but also super weird movie, but it's absolutely terrific. If I had to give it mics, I'm giving it 4 mics. It was just dynamite. I feel almost certainly that Sally Hawkins is going to get an Oscar nomination for this. I don't know if she's going to win. One of the actors in a movie that's going to be coming up in a second is, in my opinion, the front runner. But man, Sally Hawkins is an amazing actress. She really made you believe that her and this beast were in love. This is a hypersexual movie. I need to make you aware of that. If you go in and you think it's going to be like a super scary horror flick, this is a sexually charged movie between a woman and a beast. But man, it was just a lovely film. It looks beautiful. There is like this green sea tone to everything, and the set dressings and just everything about this movie was dynamite. I loved it. I thought it's going to stick with me for a long time. This may be Mr. Del Toro's masterpiece. Some people think that, I think they think that it is Pan's Labyrinth, but this movie it surpasses Pan's Labyrinth in a lot of ways, and I would not be surprised to see this get a Best Picture nomination, or for Guillermo to get a Best Director nomination. This movie was dynamite. Let's see what's number 3. That's always fun, right?
Number 3.
If you want to read it, we can go down to the public library.
I want to read it in bed.
That's something that rich people do. We're not rich people.
I'm applying to New York colleges. What about terrorism? Don't be a Republican.
If you're tired, we can sit down.
I'm not tired.
You were dragging your feet.
You are so infuriating.
Please stop yelling.
I'm not yelling. Oh, it's
Honey,
perfect.
Do you love it? She has a big heart, your mom.
Lady Bird.
You ready to go home?
Ready?
Now playing.
The number 3 movie that I saw this year is a movie that goes by the name of Lady Bird. Lady Bird gets the award for the movie that made me cry like a wuss. I bawled at this movie. It is a tale of a girl named Lady Bird, played by Saoirse Ronan. She lives in Sacramento, and she is getting ready to embark upon her college career. She's getting ready to go out into the world, and the movie focuses on her, and it really focuses upon her mom, who is played by the great Laurie Metcalf, who you might know as Roseanne's sister on Roseanne. This is a side note, but down on the Earth base, we're always looking for like TV shows we can watch together. We like to watch TV after dinner as a family, just sit down and we'll watch like The Goldbergs or Futurama, and we need some varieties. And I kind of, poked around the listings, and I found that CMT, the country music television, they play episodes of Roseanne. So we started watching Roseanne, and for some reason 2.0 loves this show to death. I don't know. It's a good show. I mean, that much is known, but she's really taken to it. She'll watch Roseanne when I'm not around. She only watches like a few shows, like TV shows. She watches a lot of YouTube and music videos, but she'll watch Futurama. She will watch the King of the Hill. King of the Hill is like her favorite show of all the times. Nothing even comes close. King of the Hill holds up so well. She loves that. She's probably watched through it on Adult Swim like 100 times, but she has also added Roseanne to the mix. I've seen her and her gal pal out there doing whatever, and they'll put on Roseanne reruns. It's crazy. But back to Lady Bird. According to the chart, I saw Lady Bird November 20th. That was like pretty soon after the fires, and I was still fairly emotional. I'll admit it. I'm not, man enough to admit that I have emotions. And this is an emotion-packed movie. The main crux is there is conflicts between Laurie Metcalf and Saoirse Ronan, and Lady Bird is getting ready to go off to school, and there is just a brief period of time in which they can work on this conflict. And 2.0 is, she is a junior in high school, and she's getting ready to go off into the world, and watching Lady Bird trying to find herself and trying to go off into the world, man, it really just it tugged at my heartstrings. I was already emotional due to the fires, and this was still at the point where everything was fresh. Like, you were driving through new neighborhoods and you were seeing how areas you didn't know had houses that were destroyed, and it was hard, man. Watching this movie, I broke down in the truck on the way home. I'll admit it. I don't care. Think what you will. Think what you will of me. I have emotions. And I cried for real, not just like a little tear down the eye. This was like a full on cry. This is what caused me to break down after the fire and kind of get it out. And I realized that the emotions involved might be skewing my view of the film, but the film was dynamite, just really heartfelt, really, really real. And Sacramento it's a few hours away from where we live, but it's still in Northern California where the Earth base is located. And it hit really close to home. I think that Saoirse Ronan is going to win the Oscar for this. I think that she's going to win Best Actress. I think that this movie will get nominated for the Oscar. It may even win. It's entirely possible. And if there is any justice in the world, Laurie Metcalf will get nominated, and she will win the Best Supporting Actress for this movie. She is a national treasure. She is a delight. And in this movie, she really steals the show. She's out of sight. So, I don't know. There's enough of that. Enough of me talking about my feelings. I'm sure you guys all think that I'm a fop, that I'm a wuss, but I'm not. I'm a man. And let's see what's number 2.
Number 2.
some of the country's finest thugs. And of course, young Mozart in a go-kart over there. People love great bank robbery stories. So let's give them something bold, shameless, and brazen as to talk about over their lattes.
That's some Oscar right there.
That's my baby.
Baby Driver.
My number 2 movie of the year was Baby Driver. Baby Driver was the I See Robots Radio Summer Movie of the Year award winner. It's already won one prestigious trophy from us this time around. It's number 2. There was one movie that was better, but man, Baby Driver was terrific. It is a flick about a dude named Baby who's a Mozart in a go-kart. Dude can drive like a mofo. Dude can do things behind the wheel that are just insane. He is used as a getaway driver by Kevin Spacey during his offbeat shenanigans types, criminals sort of stuff. And the movie it's almost like a musical. Some of the scenes are set up like dance numbers, but they're in fact driving numbers set to music. It is a dynamite picture. I've watched it already like a few times since they put the opening driving scene on YouTube a while after the movie came out as kind of an enticement to get people to go see it. And I watched it like 50 times. I watched it like 1,000 times since, actually. I don't know, man. Somewhere between 50 and 1,000, just like somewhere between the moon and New York City is the amount of times I've seen that opening scene. I can't say enough good stuff about this movie. It was just a fun time. I believe I saw it. Let's see. Let me get the list. I got a copy of it right here on the wall of the moon base. I keep one there and then one at home, just to be safe. I saw this March, April, May, July 3rd, and then I saw it again July 4th. I saw it 2 days in a row. I gave it a very prestigious 4.5 mics. It is just dynamite. The soundtrack is great. All the acting is great. John Hamm's in it. Jamie Foxx is in it. This movie's great. When it finally hits cable and I can get it on the DVR and like watch my favorite scenes over and over again, I prefer things on the DVR. It's I don't know, man. I like the way the rewind and the fast forward works. I'm a Mozart with the DVR control, just like Baby behind the wheel. I can do magical things with it. I'm not as good with DVD control. It doesn't seem like it goes enough. In the digital copy that I have, I don't know. I don't like rewinding on that. It's not the same. It's not the same to me, man. I want it on the DVR. But at any rate, once it hits that, I'm going to be watching this like crazy. There are so many parts of this movie that are just entirely rewatchable. It may be at some point that Baby Driver achieves the prestigious 5 mic Hall of Fame. It's only half a mic away. We'll see how the future treats it. But let's find out what's number 1, man. What movie could be better than this movie that I said could possibly be in the 5 mic Hall of Fame? I don't know, man. Let's see.
Okay, you heathens. Here it is. The best movie that I See Robots saw in all of 2017.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight in the air. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender.
The best movie that I saw this year was Dunkirk. Dunkirk is just about a perfect movie. I watched it from beginning to end the other day. I intended to just kind of like put it on for a few minutes and check it out, but I ended up watching the entire thing. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes. It is so tight, and there is not a wasted second in the entire thing. It is so tense. It just starts and it goes. It is a amazing film. This is Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. He will never do anything this good again. If he does, I want to see it. I saw this movie, let's see. I saw it. I was just drinking coffee. I can't find it on here. Let's see. I saw Dunkirk on July 23rd. Right before that, I saw Sofia Coppola's The Beguiled, and right after that, I saw Atomic Blonde. That was a pretty good week. I saw those all in the same week. I gave Dunkirk 4.5 mics when it came out. I do believe that this movie will someday be in the 5 mic Hall of Fame. I really think it's going to get there. Once it hits cable and I get to watch it like over and over and over again, I'm gonna really think this movie's gonna move into the hallowed halls. This is the story of the Dunkirk. I don't know what you call it, the Battle of Dunkirk during World War II. There are something like 300,000 British soldiers pushed all the way back by the German hordes to the beaches of Dunkirk, and it's up to the civilian populace of Britain, those that have a boat, to come and rescue the people, to come and get them away from the Germans who were just, strafing them and attacking them and bombing them. It is terrible and incredibly tense. The soundtrack of the movie is also amazing. It's just like this driving, pounding in your head. It's so tense. This movie is so good. It is so tight. It's absolutely perfect. I've heard people say that it's light on characters, and that may be true, but it's not about the individuals. It's about the overall scene. It's about what's going on. It's about the historical significance of this moment. It's about the people coming together. It's about so many important things. I loved this movie. I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. So there you have it, man. That is my top 5 of the year. That's everything I saw, everything I loved, blah, 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 blah. Let's move into the final segment of the show, in which we're going to talk about, I don't know, man, some other stuff, maybe some TV that I saw. I know not. It'll be fun. We'll be back in a sec.
Please drop by supportthereport.com and consider becoming a show patron for as low as a measly $1 a month. It's the right thing to do. You've made it this far. It's time. The final segment. The IC Robots Radio Pop Culture / Toy News / Other Boring Stuff Informational Moment.
All right, we are back for the final segment of the show, in which I talk about various stuff and things, just like things that are going on, things that maybe things I've watched, maybe things I bought. I don't know. I already talked about my Christmas gifts earlier in the show, so I don't got a lot of toy news or anything of that sort, but there is a bit of TV stuff, I guess. I over the break, I watched the Netflix series The Punisher. I am a big fan of The Punisher, or more specifically, Garth Ennis's take on The Punisher Max. I don't know. I have a weakness for like pulpy, ultra-violent stuff. I don't know, man. I'm not proud of it, but I do like it. And Garth Ennis usually fills that violence in my heart, the need for the violence in my heart. And that's the take on The Punisher that I have found to be the most true to the image of what I would imagine The Punisher to be like. He is a one-man force fighting crime, and he is more or less he is like a antibiotic to the crime that is out there. He's just cold killing it any chance he gets. And that is what I expected out of the Netflix show. But what I got was completely different. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good series. I did not mind it, but it was not the Punisher that I envisioned when I envisioned the Punisher. First of all, and I'm going to do my best not to get spoilery. I'm going to talk about some plot details, but they're not going to be like spoilery details, I don't think. So take that for what you will. If you don't want to know absolutely anything about the show, then, I don't know, check out now. But in this, Frank Castle gets betrayed by the government, and he is out to get revenge. In the comics, his family was killed during a mob shootout, and he swears revenge on the mafia, and he enacts that revenge one person at a time. And his family was the victims of a governmental hit. So he's taken out the rogue CIA agents from the outside in, I guess. I did not like this change in the story. When you see the Punisher out there shooting mafia guys, while it's violent and disturbing, you can go, hey man, they deserve it. They're mafia guys. They're criminals. You know, they get what they get. But a lot of the guys that Castle is shooting in this are like run-of-the-mill military operatives. And to me, that makes it almost like Frank Castle is as bad as everybody thinks he is. In the fact that he's killing people who are much like he would be. At one point, he's fighting against a group of, what would you call them, military contractors, and he's just shooting them dead left and right. And you have to think that military contractor work is something that Castle very well could have gotten into. So these people that he's killing are not very far from himself, but that, to me, takes away the sympathy that you have for Frank. When he's killing mafia guys, you really feel like they deserve it. When he's killing soldiers and like CIA guys and like military contractors, while these guys may all be rogue, they are all guys working in a somewhat legal business. And to me, it takes the heart out of the story. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling Frank. They are looking for him. They're looking for him to put him under arrest. He gets called a terrorist. He gets called this and that. And in a lot of ways, he is that. He is a terrorist. He is a bad guy. And look, I get it. Frank Castle was always a bad guy. He is a murderer. In one of these Garth Ennis Marvel Max Punishers, they speculate that he may have killed 10,000 people. The guy is the absolute worst. But you do kind of have a bit of sympathy for his mission in a, Charles Bronson Death Wish kind of way. In this, he is almost a terrorist. I don't know what you want me to say. I lost a lot of sympathy for this character. But that said, I thought the show was all right. I enjoyed watching it. I did think that it was a bit too long. I think it was 13 episodes, and there was maybe like 7 or 6 episodes worth of story. There's a lot of meetings. There are a lot of meetings, a lot of stuff in offices, a lot of CIA, Homeland Security stuff, and I don't know, man. I would have rather seen a tighter, smaller show. I feel like that with all these Netflix shows. Just 8 episodes, maybe 10 episodes is more than enough. But they're probably contracted for 13, so we're going to keep seeing shows with lots and lots and lots of meetings. I don't know. I thought that John Barenthal was a very good Punisher. I enjoyed his performance. I really liked the guy who was Micro. I thought that he did really good as Castle's, assistant. Not his assistant. He's the guy who plans everything. He's like the Overwatch. He's the Felicity Smoke of the Punisher world. I thought he did good. He's kind of a interesting actor. He has a weird voice, and he kind of brought this weirdness to the role that I enjoyed. I liked it. I did like it. I will definitely watch season 2, but I would have liked to see more mafia guys get splattered rather than CIA guys, but that's just me. Hopefully next season we'll see him take on the Punisher. Take on the Kingpin or Diamondback. I don't know. He'll take on somebody and it'll be fun and we will all be happy. Oh, here's something. I've been working on this for, I don't know, man, the longest time. I still practice the art of the VHS mixtape. I got 2 VCRs. I copy things from tape to tape. I like to do it. It's fun for me. It's relaxing, and I've been working on the IC Robots Supertape Volume 2 for, like, the longest time, and I finally finished the other day. So that's available to anybody out there who is interested. It is just over 2 hours of commercials and stuff that I have gathered off other tapes. I'll take tapes I find at the dig or the flea market, like things people recorded off TV, and I'll cut out the commercials, move them onto a different tape, add in like station breaks and all kinds of fun stuff. It's fun. It's like 2 hours of commercials, retro things. I enjoyed making it, and I think that you guys will enjoy watching it. It's available. I made a custom cover for it, which is cool too. I'll post a picture of the cover after I post up this episode so you guys can check it out. It's like fun with IC Robots. It's a good cover. I made it myself. It's cool. I really think you guys want to get this tape. I know some of you guys out there are still into the VHS scene, like my man Tapes from the Crypt. I know a few of you guys watch Tapes, so I have this one, and I am making it available. I will need to charge a bit for it, but it's mostly just to cover my cost and the shipping. It's going to be $9.99 on good old PayPal. That's basically like a couple bucks for the tape. I got some blank tapes, couple bucks for that, maybe like $3 to ship it to you, and then a couple dollars for the effort of running off a dupe. Oh, then I got to make a nice laser copy of the covers too. So there's a couple bucks for that. I'm probably making $1.50 off this. So I don't know. If you are interested, hit me up on Facebook. It's facebook.com/ICRobots, or hit me up on Twitter, and we can work something out. I'm negotiable on the price. I really just I want to get these into people's hands. I made it. I want people to see it. It's not about the money at all. If I break even or even, come in a little behind, that's fine. I just want people to have this. The IC Robot Super Tape Volume 2. It has commercials and other stuff that you will like. That if I had a slogan or a jingle, it would sound something like that. So, I don't know, man. We're going to get out of here. Oh, next week, we are going to do the rundown of the 75 movies I saw last week. We're going to add up all the stars. We're going to, We're going to get an average. It's going to be fun. But we might get a super short show. This is some behind-the-scenes stuff. Down on the Earth base over the Christmas holiday, the furnace broke down, and it's an old one. It's been here since the house was built. It's ancient, and it finally went the way of the dodo, and we are finally able to get somebody to come in and replace it. But it's going to take a couple days, and I'm going to have to be down on the Earth base supervising the construction. So while I will do my best effort to get a show, there will be a show, but it may be a short one just because I'm not going to be able to get into the recording booth as much as I would like. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. You guys will have a good time listening to it. I guarantee it. I promise. I promise you will. So until then, hey, Phil Carey, get a hold of me. I got this box. I want to send it out your way. So until next time, this is me, IC Robot, signing off for the Toys R Us Report episode number 141, Top 5 Movies of 2017. If you don't know, now you know.
This has been an IC Robots Radio production. IC Robots Radio is a listener-supported endeavor. If you like what we do and we make your day a little easier, please consider tossing a few bucks our way to help keep the life support running. All money collected goes to help us prepare for future space pirate attacks. Go on over to supportthereport.com for all the details. Thanks and have a great week.